there's this pattern at play with most big successes that come in life, and it tends to work in a kind of similar structure each time. At first, the idea is just a seed, and it might seem ridiculous even to you. But then, you maybe you start to entertain the idea, you start to play around with it, and it starts to take a little shape. Maybe you believe a bit more. At this point, you might present the idea to someone else, uh, but they might well not see the value in it because it's not real. It might seem really far fetched, especially with big ideas. And this is often a critical point, because if someone else doesn't believe, that might knock your faith in the idea, and you might think, "Oh, what was I thinking? This isn't a good idea. I'm going to leave it." Especially when we don't want to look foolish in the eyes of others. But sometimes, we push through that. We say, no, the idea comes back to us maybe, and we think, no, this is a good idea. I want to push on with it. But the idea is still virtual. It doesn't have a physical existence. So you have to take action. And at this point, you make the idea into a physical thing. Now, this is a big deal. This is often the hardest step and the point which few ideas get past, breaking their way into physical reality. Now, this is the kind of the way it works with recovery, or at least the way it worked for me. At first, it was really hard to believe that recovery was possible. And if I said it to anyone else, they might say, well, I've looked at the websites and they say it's not possible. So, but something in me said, this idea of mind-body healing resonated with me so strongly that I thought, I need to see this through, this idea. I believe that this can get me better. I believed in the testimonials that I heard. And then something funny happens. Well, at first, things go great. You feel amazing. You get a hit of adrenaline because you're trying something new, and it's very exciting. But physical reality has its own constraints. It has a load of things that we don't control. So it will push back at you. It will, present challenges, make things harder. And that's another point where we can give up, because things get really hard sometimes. And things seem so unlikely. And this thing is still just a seed. But then if we push through that and just keep taking steps, even tiny steps every day, this is with anything in life, but I believe particularly this applies to recovery, then the seed starts to sprout a little. And this is the point where belief becomes easier. You're seeing some progress. And this tends to be like a virtuous cycle. So you've seen a little progress, you think, if I double down on this, imagine what I could do. And this is the moment, so you start to belief becomes easier, you kind of push on and you keep taking steps. And another great thing about this part of the cycle is that other people start to believe too, because they can see it. They're looking at you and saying, oh, you are less fatigued, you are much better, your progress has been very quick, for the time period. You must be doing something right. So yes, so important that we don't fear looking silly, even though it's completely natural to do so at the beginning, when our idea is just this little seed, this little thing, which we haven't nurtured yet. So I encourage you to hold on to the idea that recovery is possible, and just to keep on taking those little steps towards getting your health back.